Last one from me today, and it's just really a kind of a head scratching what's going on between the supposed up and coming rematch between Andre Ward and Carl Froch. Now, on the 28th of February this year, the WBA ordered a mandatory fight between their current super middleweight champion, which is Andre Ward, and their regular super middleweight world champion, who is of course Carl Froch. The aim of that is, of course, they want one champion, and then someone else will obviously fall into place of being regular champion, which, judging by what's next in line, would more than likely be someone along the lines of someone like Patrick Nielsen or somebody like that. Now, this week, Eddie Hearn gave an update on the situation, saying that talks have been ongoing with Rock Nation about the potential fight. And we all know that Carl Froch's stance is that he wants to fight in England. And Andre Ward's stance is that Carl Froch isn't going to dictate anything, which seems utter rubbish and questionable when you consider Andre Ward's position. Now, that fight was ordered on February the 28th. And the WBA said that the negotiations need to have been agreed via 30 days' time, which takes us up to this coming Monday, the 30th of March. And all we've had from either side, promotional-wise, is that talks are ongoing. Then in that same announcement, it was of course stated that the fight would need to take place within 120 days, which takes us up to the 28th of June. And we know that Eddie Hearn provisionally booked a date for the City Ground in Nottingham around mid-June. So Eddie Hearn has put the gears in action, if you like. He's provisionally booked a venue if the terms can be agreed. And he's still hopeful that it can happen in England if it needs to happen. The WBA have since said nothing with regards to the fight, since announcing that it was mandated. And if their original stance is true, that it needs to be completed and ready to go and signed within 30 days, which does take, like I say, takes us up to this Monday, the 30th of March, then it looks like we are going to purse bids. Now, if this goes to purse bids, all I keep on hearing from American side of things is Rock Nation have got money to burn. They will outbid Matchroom Sport. Right, let me get one thing straight to those fans that have kind of came out with this comment. Andre Ward is not a money-making fighter in the USA. What I mean by that is he's not got a big fan base. He has been inactive for a year, the best part of a year and a half, if not a little bit more now. And kind of as well, with some of the ongoing situations that Andre Ward's had over the last couple of years, in particular with the situation of his now, of course, formerly and deceased promoter, Dan Goosen, that's kind of left a bitter taste in some people's mouths. So Andre Ward is not in a position where he's a pay-per-view fighter in the USA. He is not in a position where he can sell out any arena in an hour or 2 hours or whatever in the USA. He's not even in a position really to dictate anything. He is just a WBA super champion. That is it. You know, he's not even on pound for pound list anymore. The reason he's not there is quite simply because he's been inactive. So I can't see Rock Nation outbidding Matchroom Sport, because they are set to make a loss if they do that, if that makes sense. They're going to struggle to reclaim any form of revenue if they had to put in a big purse bid to host that fight stateside. They will lose out. Whereas on the flip side of the coin, Eddie Hearn has got the luxury to bid that little bit more for the purse bid, because Carl Froch will make him that money. Not only would that be British pay-per-view on Sky, that would probably be, if it is going to be held in the City Ground, It would easily sell that out. City Ground, I'm from Nottingham, Nottingham Forest Football Club are my team. The City Ground has got condemned seats. Its supposed capacity is 30,602. That figure is more along the lines of 29,588. And then you put on pitch seats on top of that, you're probably looking roughly about 32,000 comfortably, I would say, for a fight at the City Ground in attendance. So if you're looking at the 32,000 people, that's pretty much going to sell out within an hour, like any Carl Froch fight does. The British pound is much stronger than the American dollar, so the ticket prices will be more profitable in terms of transferring Andre Ward's paycheck from British pounds to American dollars. With the pay-per-view price, that'll probably be a set standard pay-per-view price of about £15, translated roughly about 26 American dollars. I think the last Carl Froch between pay-per-view between George Groves did something like 900,000, nearly a million buys on pay-per-view. I wouldn't expect Andre Ward to do the same, but I would still expect it to do a reasonably strong number along the lines of about maybe 650 to 850,000, somewhere in that region, which is still a victory for Sky Sports in many respects when you times that number by the pay-per-view price. And also as well, Carl Froch has got a lot of big fan bases across the world. He's probably got a bigger fan base in America than Andre Ward has. He's certainly got a bigger fan base across Central Europe and Eastern Europe than Andre Ward has, and even going out into going out into your not Middle East, Asian countries and your Oceanic countries. Even there, Carl Froch has once again got the edge of fan base and would be able to draw in a bigger fan base at a more suitable time, television-wise, for people on that side of the world. Let's not forget, as well, if the fight happens in America, it means it's going to be 2 o'clock over here, which means it wouldn't be pay-per-view, which means that money wouldn't be added to the pot, and also will make it a lot more difficult for people in Europe and other parts of the world to make that fight to make American time. Whereas if they did it on British time, they could probably make the main event roughly about, probably about 11 o'clock, midnight British time, which would see the main event, let's just go Western Coast time. Would see the main event roughly about 4, maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere around there, which wouldn't be too bad. And it just everything makes a lot more sense. So people that are thinking if this goes to purse bids that the Americans are going to, I didn't originally think the Americans are going to win, but now I've thought about it and sat down and thought about the figures and who brings in what and who brings in the draw. If this fight happens in America and Rock Nation wins the purse bid, they're going to lose money. So I can't see them bidding too high. Whereas Matchroom Sport, unlike the James DeGale Andre DeVoe situation where they probably couldn't have bid any more sensibly, because they probably would have made a loss if they did, Carl Froch would easily make the purse bid back and then some. So this fight does look like it's going to happen. It's not going to be promoted directly at this minute in time via either Rock Nation or Matchroom Sport. It's going to go to purse bids, and I really do hope, and I do think now I've had time to think about it and look into the numbers, that Matchroom Sport will win those purse bids. And if that happens, I will say this right now for the record, I think Andre Ward will pull out of the fight. Simple as that. This fight happens, I don't see. So if this fight goes to purse bids and Matchroom Sport win the purse bid, I see Andre Ward vacating the title. And I see him maybe moving up or fighting someone like GGG. That's what I see happening. I don't think Andre Ward wants anything to do with Carl Froch in the UK at all. That's my opinion. That's the update. There is no real more information than we were a couple of months. Oh, sorry, not a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago. But that's the situation we're in, and I'm just kind of hoping that something's going to get made soon. So I want to see Carl Froch back in the ring soon. Peace out. Let me know what you guys think.